Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Pro Wrestling Tonight right here on IndieQuebec.com. It's the Prez once again with my co-host, none other than magnificent Dre Breeze. How you doing, Dre?
Doing awesome, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. It's been a good week. Been a bit slow, like normally say it's been a big week in wrestling. This week it's been a bit of a slower week.
Yes, it has.
But yeah, it's been a week. Nonetheless, because there was less stuff going on, I watched some NWA, which I hadn't watched that much of recently.
And what'd you think?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I can talk a bit about it. Yeah, so right now the champion is Trevor Murdoch, NWA champion. Billy Corgan announced the Race to the Chase tournament. So the NWA is having their 74th anniversary, which is going to be in St. Louis. So yeah, they're having this tournament to see who's going to go against Trevor Murdoch. And on this episode, they had the first round matches. Tom Latimer beat Chris Adonis, which is Chris Masters.
Yeah.
Austin Idol was on commentary for the whole show. He's pretty hilarious on commentary.
Yeah, he's funny. He's really funny.
Yeah, he's like an old school heel.
Yeah.
Brian Myers beat the Pope. Mike Knox gets a bye in the tournament. And Nick Aldis beat Tim Storm. So that's what's pretty much going on in the NWA. There was a women's match. Kylie King beat Allison Kay, which was a very good women's match, I must say.
Yeah, they have a pretty good, they have a pretty stocky roster, basically.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa, that's where I first saw her, was in NWA.
Me too, yeah.
Among other, they have a good women's division, I'd say, for sure. Yeah, get out and get those good women's wrestlers. Raw, I mean, not going to go over all of Raw, but the main event, I tuned in for the main event, and it was Lashley and Riddle. They pulled off the win against Rollins and Austin Theory, or just known as Theory. Ziggler cost them the match. It looks like Ziggler is going to be in a feud with Theory. Lashley speared Rollins through a barricade. It was a pretty good match. I must say, it was actually a pretty good match.
Am I going crazy, or did I see them just announce that they're going from PG back? They're going back to PG-14. They're done with the. They're going back to like an Attitude Era type thing. It was just announced like today or something. I saw this on the Instagram, I think it was.
That's possible. I don't know, but that would be quite interesting. Definitely, a lot of fans want to see that. I mean, AEW, as we know, the blood, they have some swearing. That's like kind of part of the flavor of the show at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you're on cable anyway. Why aren't you going to do it?
There you go. Exactly. And
what's the purpose of being on cable if you're not going to use these perks in your TV show? If you're going to start censoring yourself, why not just be on Fox or on NBC or something on, syndicated television? Because,
that's true. And especially like the last hour, maybe not the first hour, but like there's no kids awake. Yeah, right.
No, seriously, it's a 3 hours.
But they're not supposed to be.
You know what I'm saying? Like whatever happens after 10 o'clock at night, it's like.
There you go. I mean, like Jay Leno or whatever. It's like obviously that shit's not for kids. Some kids.
No, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why they keep blocking themselves in storyline possibilities. And I'm not saying that you necessarily.
I think it's like an advertising thing. Like some advertisers shy away from certain things, but.
Yeah, violence and all of this and all of that. But I mean, technically, the owner just got caught. The owner just got caught for sexual harassment. I mean, there is no PG-13 anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they're going to change the image of the company. Yeah, indeed. I didn't get to see any Impact. Did you get to see Impact this week?
Yes, I did. Impact was pretty good this week. They really started pushing Killer Kelly, who they've signed, basically. She had a couple appearances here and there. I think she was on the NXT roster and got cut like a year or two ago. And she's from Portugal. They just signed her. Now they started showing vignettes of her. So, of course, they're really pushing the girls
Okay.
division. What else was there? There was an incredible match between Mike Bailey and Alan Angels. Have you heard of Alan Angels?
Well, is it Alan Angels from the Dark Order?
Yeah, it is. Yes, number 4. Yes, he's no longer with the Dark Order. I don't
Is
know if
that
he's I don't know if he's signed with Impact or not, but he is. They said it's his Impact debut, and he went into one. It was a great match. If you have time to go watch that match, watch that match.
I
Mike
will.
Bailey versus Alan Angels.
That
What
sounds
a
interesting.
sick
Yeah.
match. And I thought it was pretty cool because Tom Hannafy actually said, that he used to be with the Dark Order. He said it on TV live, no problem. Like, there's no hiding or shying away from where he was and who he is as a character. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
said it used to be 4 with the Dark Order, so there's no marks that are going to be like, oh, they didn't mention, you know
So
what I'm
like
saying? Like, it was
he's no
mentioned
longer
right.
in the Dark Order. Stu Grayson no longer in the Dark Order. Colt Cabana no
Colt
longer in
Cabana.
the Dark Order. Are we missing anyone?
I think there's only Silver, Reynolds, Preston Mason at 10, basically.
Yeah. Uno
Uno, and Ty Conti. Is it Ty Conti? And a J.
and a J. But then
Yeah,
on Dynamite, as we'll get into, it looks like Ty Conti's trying to recruit her for like maybe the Jericho Appreciation Society.
exactly. Something like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like saying, I think they're just going to build a feud between them. They got to do something with Ty Conti. And obviously, they can't keep pushing Anna J anymore because she got her ass handed to her by their TNT champ, not the TBS champion.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, by Jade Cargill. So you know what I'm saying. So you kind of have no other way. You can't put her for titles, so you have to make her relevant somehow. So
That's it.
make her
Yeah.
relevant
And yeah,
by.
maybe it's not a bad thing that the Dark Order can we can move on from the Dark Order at some point.
Yeah, exactly. But they said on TV that they were there to stay because I guess a lot of people online must have been asking if the Dark Order is going to exist because exactly like we just said, like Stu's gone. Alan decided to not renew his AEW contract, and now he's in Impact. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys are just like, but
Yeah.
they said that the other guys said we're here to stay. So
So yeah, well maybe like a smaller version is also not
yeah,
a
it's a
bad
smaller
thing.
version. There was too many people in it.
Yeah.
And what happens when you have too many people?
People
It's the
get
same
lost
thing.
in the mix.
They get lost in the mix and they're irrelevant. And it's like, okay, so I'm paying this guy how much for him to stand around and sometimes take a bump. You know what I mean? Like he's useless right now. Make him more relevant. You know what I mean? So that's why they had to
Indeed.
break some guys off, and also I think a lot of their contracts are coming up to term right now, so they're letting a lot of loose change go, or some guys are just
It's not a
choosing to
bad
leave.
thing. Their roster is way too big anyways. So
Yeah, exactly, way too big, and it's costing them a lot of money since they brought all these WWE guys.
yeah.
Which didn't go to mention. Did you see what Marco Stunt said? I think Marco Stunt was quoted on saying that about AEW right now. He's like they're lost in the high of being able to get an ex-WWE guy and put him on TV. So they're so high off of the appearances that they're forgetting the guys that were there day one to help build the company, that were there, the indie guys that were big on the indies that they signed. They're all kind of like, except for like 5 or 6 of them, the others are all being pushed aside. As like an enhancement talent, basically. Oh,
Yeah.
Cesaro's here now, so you're enhancement talent.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a definite switch over in the roster. For better or worse in some cases. I mean, I
Yeah,
would say
exactly.
some guys like I don't mind not seeing on TV anymore. But a lot of the guys, yeah, but hey, that gives other companies guys to use,
Exactly. Exactly. So there's 4 companies basically now because Ring of Honor can't be counted because technically you're with
Yeah, it's the same thing.
AEW. So you've got Impact, Major League Wrestling, WWE, and Japan to pay, or Mexico, but Mexico don't really sign people. They just appearances and you leave. Like New Japan is known to give contracts. Like you're here, we're paying
Yeah,
you
exactly. Yeah.
directly. You're here. AAA doesn't really do that. They'll sign you for appearances. Like you can go there for 2 months but you'll never be like an inked AAA wrestler. I don't even know. Besides Jack Evans, is there any other white, like, you know what I mean? Like that have been
They have guys
under,
come in and out, but yeah, not really. Like they do tours
so
kind of thing, as you were saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
guaranteed
definitely.
contract, so
Yeah,
a
so it's
guaranteed
kind of hard to
contract.
come by, definitely, or else you're on the indies, and we all
Yeah,
know
you're going from place to place, up and down the road. So, which makes good money, but you have to travel. So,
that's it. So let's get into Dynamite then. Yeah, it was a decent episode this week.
it
Starts
was.
off with TNT title on the line. Wardlow against Orange Cassidy. Face versus face. Orange Cassidy comes out with the best friends, and they take out a chainsaw and suggest he uses it.
That was crazy. I really like the whole comedic thing that they had at the beginning. Like too much comedy is not good, but this was really put together well. Like even Wardlow's reaction to the
Yeah,
chainsaw. Like, really, dude, a chainsaw? Like are you
you
crazy?
trying to kill me here? Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, even the little promo they did at the beginning, we're gonna cheat is like when
Yeah,
they said they're
exactly.
going.
So they kind of
They
took the heel
basically,
position.
yeah, because they're at a disadvantage, of course, in size to Wardlow, which is just a machine right now. You know what I mean? So
It's two very over characters, so that was cool.
it was the perfect way to play a face versus face without making people hate the other face.
There you
Like it's
go.
a competition, like they tried, but there wasn't no cheap shots taken in a sense.
There was a lot
Like,
of comedy spots and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Orange Cassidy kicked out of his power bomb at one point.
Well,
So
yeah,
they're keeping Cassidy strong,
that's what I was saying. That's not taking anything away from the face. You're not, even though he's in a losing situation, you made him look like a survivor.
There
He's
you
still
go.
hot. He's
Yeah.
still hard to beat. Even Wardlow shook his hand at the end, and said he's hard to beat. That was a hell of a match. And I
Yeah,
really
it was
like the Jim Cornette reference, the pockets and the ripping out of the pockets. And then I think it's Excalibur said, "Oh, no more pockets." So like basically telling Cornette you can't fucking call him pockets anymore.
Yeah.
Like they ripped his pockets out. So I thought that was really funny. Like their way of jabbing at Cornette again, they still do it when they can.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Cornette probably wouldn't have liked that match, but I thought it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Wardlow, yeah. So Wardlow continues to be a great character, great over mid-card champion at this point. Then we get Jericho. His comes out, does a promo on Eddie Kingston. Pretty heel, pretty much Jericho on his game.
Yeah. Looking good for one. Not looking all messed up and overweight and everything. The suit was sleek and nice. The hair was looking good. There wasn't gray hairs everywhere.
Not looking like a joke. He looks like serious. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
Came out looking serious.
He came out looking serious, which was great.
Yeah. So that was good. Then we got one guy that I'm really starting to really enjoy, Takeshita, taking on Jon Moxley in an eliminator match. How do you like this match?
Dude, this kid, okay, every time he wrestles, it's gold. That's how talented he is.
Agreed.
He doesn't need to do one promo.
Look here,
He's done no promos. He's talked to nobody. He just comes to the ring. Oh, it's this guy from DDT, and then they compliment him. They inform people. They put him over by informing people who he is, but he's not even needing to do promos. He's basically put over just by skill.
His wrestling, yeah.
He
has unique wrestling skills. He's very athletic. He's pretty big, Also,
yeah, he is. He's the size of Takashi.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy's like heavyweight, probably like 200 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, that really cut like good, okay, so he's representing DDT basically. Okay, Kota Ibushi is the big DDT.
Yeah.
Face. To tell you the truth, I've seen a bunch of Kota Ibushi matches. Not taking anything away from him, he's an amazing wrestler. I like this kid better.
This kid, yeah, well, he's like almost like a younger version, but different, a bit more serious, I would say.
Yeah, a bit more like I think you could make this kid like they could put a belt on him in a
Yeah,
few months.
this
And
was
the
a really
people
good find. Like, he's not like a guy from Japan who already has a big name. You know what I mean? He's
no,
like
no,
this young guy, and he's really really good.
he reminds me a lot of when Impact brought in Sonata. Nobody
Yeah,
really knew Sonata. They were like, oh, okay, so he's a young guy from Japan. And then he turned out they put the X Division belt on him. For months, he was relevant. Like for a whole year, they pushed him. Never did an interview. Like he couldn't talk English, like basically, except for a few words. You know what I mean? So I get the same vibe. Just a talented, athletic Japanese kid, and he's so good. And he's in his matches, his
at
work.
least it's not the '80s, because if it was the '80s and it was the territories, he'd be like the Ninja for sure.
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
they were all Japanese wrestlers were the Ninja in the '80s.
Yeah, and he'd have a manager, which would be a small
Yeah,
Japanese guy dressed in a suit like a businessman or a yakuza
and
guy.
like he'd spit the mist and
Yeah,
all
there'd
the
always be
stuff.
mist. Yeah, always be mist and stuff. Yeah, exactly. No, but
But
this
it's
kid's
still
next level.
essentially the same idea. Like, these excursions, these young guys come here to get experience. Then when they go back to Japan, they're like a huge star, you know?
Yeah, it pushes him. It's even better for his pockets and his look over there when he goes back. Like
Yeah.
he'll be able to ask top dollar. He's performed with Adam Page so far and Moxley and put them over, made it like they made him look just like amazing.
Yeah. No,
You know what
definitely.
I'm
Like,
saying? In
he
loss,
definitely keeps up, you know, he keeps up, you know? Like,
and
here Moxley gets the win, but you know, Takeshita looks great in this match. Both
but see
guys
what
were
I like about
bleeding.
the whole Blackpool Fight Club. This is who they should put in the Blackpool Fight Club. After that match, he should have got a T-shirt.
I mean, fuck, everyone else did.
But you understand what I'm saying? Why
Yeah.
give it to Kingston? Why give it to Santana and Ortiz, who are kind of irrelevant to put there?
This
Like
kid
I
more
understand
fits the bill, yeah. Agreed.
exactly of the Danielson, of the Moxley, of the Yuta. Then you add this kid, just like straight shooter wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's supposed to be a fight club. I
Yeah.
mean Eddie Kingston, okay, a little bit, but you just got too many
There's
guys
too
that
many
you
guys in it at this point.
that don't need to be a part
And
of it.
too many guys that are like almost main event level guys. Danielson,
Exactly.
Kingston, Claudio. You can't have that many
Claudio
top
too,
guys.
yeah, but even Claudio
Moxley.
fits the
How could
bill.
I forget the guy who's actually the champion? You got like four main
Exactly.
eventers in the same faction.
It's just like it's too much. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculously big for nothing.
Yeah.
And they don't do interviews as an ensemble together anymore. They do it in the ring every now and then when they beat people up, but they don't do promos all wearing shirts and suits, that say, like, for example,
No,
what
they don't feel
Impact did when
united at
had,
all. At
yeah,
all.
when Impact had the main event Mafia, like it was the main event Mafia, but they would always be together, the whole clique, always walk out in suits, always do promos together. This, they all come out to their own music.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It's hard to really, are they together? Are they not? Like, right now they're all kind of in different storylines too.
Exactly.
So yeah. But yeah. So Moxley picks up the win, so he doesn't have to give Takeshita a title shot, but Takeshita looks good. I don't really love those eliminator concept of the eliminator matches, but I guess once in a while it's not bad.
Exactly.
So then we get another Christian promo, which of course is one of the highlights of the show.
Exactly. On point.
This time it's on the Varsity Blondes talking about Brian Pillman. He says Brian Pillman was mediocre. He says that he's more of a legend than Brian Pillman was. Yada, yada, yada. Horrible. Just being so
Horrible.
heel.
Just being heel.
The best. I love these kind of promos. I really do. Those are I love characters like this. It's very rare that there's been characters like this in wrestling.
Well, it's hard to pull off guys like this. You need to have somebody that's amazing on the microphone to do that.
Yeah. You got to be really good on the microphone. And you got to not be scared to be heel. You got to be not scared to like almost
To be hated.
that's
Yeah,
it.
no.
Like to be legit hated, you
Yeah.
know. Then so Luchasaurus picks up an easy win against Griff Garrison. Griff Garrison, I don't know. I don't love the Varsity Blondes in general. They're
No.
okay, but I mean, I don't see this like I see them like transcending from this character. Maybe these guys will be better down the line, but like these guys definitely could use more like seasoning on the indies, you know.
Ring of Honor. Jesus.
Put them
Send
in
them
Ring
to
of
the
Honor. There you
Ring of
go.
Honor school. Send them to the school. There's still a school. Like when he bought that, he bought the school.
Yeah,
Like the dojo.
there must
Send them
be.
to
Yeah,
the
there must
dojo.
be.
Jesus. Train them.
No, they definitely need some more seasoning. But yeah, so Luchasaurus looking good. Then we get backstage Jericho Appreciation Society. They have a promo. So they're gonna be suspended in a shark cage above the ring. This is gonna be hilarious.
This is going to be hilarious. And once again, props to Matt Menard. Eh? Ah, the promo guy.
He's getting over big time. People in the crowd have signs for him this week and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
Daddy Magic.
yeah, it's because he's got that Italian South Shore, that South Shore Italian accent that he gives himself. It's just funny to talk like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Entertainers. Like, what is that? Like, it's amazing. He's like a wise guy. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. I love it. He's
Yeah.
really open.
Man,
Good
yeah.
work by both of them. And the knife, that's a comb. It's not relax, it's a comb. When he pulls out the knife.
Yeah, yeah, Parker and Menard, they're doing really good stuff. You know, they're only looking better and better every week. And then
Yeah,
so looking forward to that. That's just building up, like it's like two promos for the same match. Like that's
yeah.
just building up for the Eddie Kingston match against Jericho. Then we had Claudio against Jake Hager, which this match made me like remember that they were both with
SmackDown 2011.
they were both on the same they were in the same faction with Uncle Zebekiah. What was his name at that point? Zeb Coulter. Zeb
Yeah,
Coulter.
Zeb Coulter. Yeah.
We
True,
the
they
people.
were.
I totally forgot that Cesaro was part of We the People.
Oh man. That's what I said too when I was watching it. I was like, man, why does it feel like I'm watching SmackDown 2011?
Yeah, that's
Like
it.
literally, it really felt like that. I was like, and then this is what I said. I said, I can't believe the people in AEW are going bananas. And then they turn around and they go, oh, WWE sucks. And I'm like, but did you cheer for a match that was exactly the same match? It was exactly the same thing,
Yeah,
but just
man.
with a different brand. But you're watching the exact same thing right now, which is why it didn't make sense to me, you know. Which right before that they showed Pac protect his belt in Progress Wrestling, and I was like, Jesus, that would have been more interesting to see live on AEW him defend his Progress belt against, I don't remember who the other guy was. It was a crazy match. Than what I just watched.
Yeah. And they also made him defend his belt on Dark. I saw like in the description on YouTube. I was like, oh my God, the All Atlantic title, the first defense of it was like on Dark, and then he's defending it in Indies. Like, what is this title going to be?
I don't know. I don't understand.
Already, I'm not impressed at all.
You know, and separately, I love Hager. I like Claudio. But there's no reason for you to match them up because we don't want to see that because that is something we saw. There's so many guys on your roster. Why put these two?
Why give us something we know? We like. It felt so oddly familiar. It took me back to an odd time.
Exactly.
Like, who wants to remember like that year? Not me.
Exactly.
I don't know why, but no.
It was, I don't know. Like I understand
it felt weird. It felt like watching a old YouTube video or something. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just like too deja vu. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, agreed. I felt the same.
If you had Kingston renew his feud with Claudio, most people didn't see that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was on the,
Unless you were
you
like
know what I mean?
watching the Shikara and stuff. Exactly.
Exactly. Nobody could have seen that. That's easy for you to come and present that and continue this feud. And people are like, oh, I heard of that, but I never saw that. Instead, you did a matchup that millions of people saw. It's like,
And probably
okay.
were bored of, and it's like, okay.
Probably turned the channel when it was happening. Like, okay, I'm gonna get up and get something to drink.
Cesaro's a bit too. I mean, Jake Hager's a bit too big and like awkward for Cesaro to do a lot of his best shit to him.
Exactly. It was too, I don't know. It was just, it didn't,
Weird
you've got,
style clash. Plus, feels like we already saw it. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it wasn't great.
Right after a
But-
fast-paced match. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
after a really fast-paced match, man, how you gonna do that to us? Like, you just put me asleep.
Yeah, the pacing was a little bad there. Claudio wins. Yeah. So yeah. So anyways, cool. Claudio though. I'm happy Claudio gets the win. I hope he actually gets used properly here. After that, we get a Tony Storm Thunder Rosa promo, and then Britt Baker comes back, gets a huge. This is a backstage promo, but you could even hear the crowd gives her like a great ovation. I've been missing Britt Baker on this show.
Yeah, I mean she's entertaining. You know, so
she's a star.
Yeah.
For me, she's a star of the women's division. Like she's a star that they've created. You know?
Yeah, she is a star that they've created. Like, she's a sports entertainer. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah.
She's
She's pure sports entertainment. Definitely.
You know.
Unlike one of the ladies, at least in the next match, Serena Deeb, who's pure pro wrestling. We get to see a Serena Deeb match here, which is always good. She takes on Anna Jay, gets the win. Anna Jay, like we were saying, you know, we're not going to dwell too much on this Dark Order breakup or not breaking up thing, but I feel like she has a lot more to offer the wrestling world than being the girl from Dark Order at this point.
She does. She looks like $1,000,000. She's tall and lanky, but she performs well. You know what I'm saying? So
looks like she would have been on NXT.
You know? Yeah, she would have. She's definitely the fit that they would have loved to have.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
She has a very volleyball-ish type body. Really tall. You know what I mean? Long legs,
lanky,
long arm.
Lanky kind of. But yeah, great shape, great look.
Yeah.
I've seen her have some pretty good matches. Some of the better women's matches in AEW. She's been a part of some of them out there. So yeah, but Serena Deeb gets the win. They're keeping her strong. I'm always down to see Serena Deeb. Like, I still want to see her win the actual AEW.
Me too. Doesn't she look like your mean? Doesn't she really? Come on. She really looks like your mean aunt.
Oh yeah. She's like
She looks like a mean aunt or a really mad yoga teacher.
You're like, oh no, I don't want to piss her. Yeah, no, definitely. She has a great look, great in the ring. Yeah. I mean, she definitely sets herself apart. After the match, she goes a little like violent, of course, on Anna Jay. We get Mercedes Martinez come out. So I think Mercedes is going to defend the ROH title against her at Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's booked. Yeah, it's been booked since last week. Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. Maybe we'll see some gold around the waist of Serena Deeb. That would be cool. But hey, Mercedes is good too. Like if they just build a feud between those two, that's cool with me too. You know,
it is. I mean, they're two of the most talented girls they've got on the roster. I'd rather see these two than see Jade Cargill, who has a title, argue with Lena Gray. Is it Lena Gray? Lena Gray, the really pretty one that they brought there. That the
replacement for the injured. Exactly. I don't know. I don't remember her name.
Like if you've got a title evolved, like it's a storyline that doesn't need to have a champion evolved in. You know what I'm saying? And instead, you've got two wrestlers who are going to fight an amazing match, but for the secondary title. I don't know. To me, it's like that should be the world title around those two, or the TNT title. You know what I mean? And these little, I don't know.
Jade should be more like running through people if she's gonna be this dominant. Like, let's see her like destroy jobbers at least.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. So then we get to our main event, which was a match I was actually looking forward to. It was a pretty long main event. Yeah, it's a triple threat tag match. The Young Bucks taking on Starks and Hobbs and Swerve and Keith Lee. We get new tag champions, man. We get Swerve and Keith Lee are the new tag champions. Throughout the match, I'm thinking like, okay, can they just like stop talking about the Team Taz thing? Like,
yeah, that's what I was saying to myself.
Stark should just stop carrying around the FTW title. Like, it makes no sense.
They should have won the titles.
I would have not minded seeing them win the titles. I'll say.
Like, all three teams had like awesome moments. Like they really looked good. They had their big standout. It felt like
a PWG main event to me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
like I'm on the edge of my seat watching this shit.
There might be a few things that Strickland and Swerve did. I mean, Swerve and Keith Lee did that I didn't like too much. They had a little less synchronicity than the others, but it's normal. They haven't been together that long as like in the ring at the same time. They've probably known each other for years, but I mean, wrestling as a tag team, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But they were more
bust out some crazy high flying shit more than he normally does.
Even the Keith Lee flip over the third rope on the floor was intense. To see a 350-pound man throw himself like that and do a flip was pretty intense, and I kind of felt bad for the guys catching him on the outside of the ring. Like,
it's great to see some like major title on Keith Lee though. Like this guy winning in a main event on Dynamite. I just like that. Like this guy, WWE fucked up letting this guy go.
Him and Strickland, both of them were big fuck up.
For sure. Yeah. So it was like a all over the place match kind of thing. Like they didn't really adhere that much to the wrestling traditional rules there, but like
no,
it was a spot fest. It was a Young Bucks match.
It was a Young Bucks match. Just spot after spot after spot. I have a spot, you do a spot, we do a spot. You do your move, I do my move. He does our move, we do our move. Like it's just that. Like there's no count out, there's no counting, there's no, at one point, is there even that many tags? Like clean tags. Like,
no, it didn't really feel like that was really that necessary. It felt, and at some point there was so much double teaming, lots of outside of the ring,
What is it called? The tornado? Cool. Isn't it called? But it has a name. It's called tornado tag, right?
I don't think it was technically a tornado tag though.
But then they should just do that. If they're going to do so many spots, just make Roberts. It's his job. It's his job to say stuff. Like you're paying the guy to say stuff. Just have him say this match is for the titles. It's a tornado tag match. So people know there's no tagging that's necessary. It's just spots.
And it's always Rick Knox, the ref, for these Young Bucks matches, if people notice. And he just lets everything go because he was a PWG ref. So he knows this kind of style basically, but like at one point Excalibur's like, oh, it's Rick Knox for the main event. JR's like, it always is, or something like that. I don't think JR is a big fan of this style, but hey, I mean, I'm not that big of a fan of the style, but when it works, it works. It was still an exciting match. People going to get hurt though. Look at that injury list, and they are still wrestling this style.
But that's it. That's what I'm saying. That's why JR is probably a little bit pissed. He's probably like, man, you're just putting guys in situations that they don't have to be.
Indeed. So, so I always like to see a title change. I mean, they don't have to do title changes every week either. But the fact that there was a title change in the main event, I like that. It was a pretty good episode overall, I'll say.
Overall, it was a good episode. I give this episode an A-. Yeah. I give it an A-. Yeah.
A-. Yeah. I mean, look, like they're going without Punk, Omega,
MJF.
Danielson. Those are like three of your big stars. I mean, like, and like so many of your other stars not there. So basically that's pretty much it for Dynamite this week. You got any other news here before we go off the air here? We can give our thumbs up of the week.
I'd give my thumbs up of the week to Mike Bailey for keeping his X Division title against Trey Miguel in an amazing match at Against All Odds, and coming straight to Impact the week after, which we all know is taped. He did this the night after, basically, going all out again in a match again against Allen Angels, which in a losing cause, what a performance by Alan Angels. I think it's better for him to be here in Impact and be competing in the X division than
Instead
to
of just
be
being on Dark.
associated. Exactly. Like he really showcased his talent tonight. Like even in a loss, like it was amazing. It was what a good X division fast paced match.
Nice. Yeah. I'm gonna give my thumbs up of the week to Nick Aldis from NWA. Still very heel, still very much keeping his name relevant. Like I put on the NWA, it feels like they got like their little roster that's been together for like 4 or 5 years now. That
They've got they add a few guys too. Like
they
Sam
add
Shaw
guys,
has been
but it's
adding.
cool that they got like their core guys that stick there, and you
Yeah,
tune in and it's familiar, and it's got that studio.
it
It has
is.
a
It is.
different look. So yeah, thumbs up to NWA.
It really has. It's WCW 1991 on Saturday morning.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Mid-Atlantic
Before they
feel,
brought
old
Hogan.
school NWA.
Yeah, before they brought Hogan, right before
Yeah,
they
exactly.
decided to bring Hogan, when they had Vader, Flair, the Steiners, Sting, Luger, like when those were
Small
the main
studio
guys there,
wrestling. Yeah.
they were all studio wrestling. Paul Lee Dangerously and Jim Ross were doing the commentating. Steve Austin and Pillman were the blondes. Like those days, those WCW days, I feel like NWA goes and gets that vibe. If you like the
Yeah.
old school Atlanta wrestling, really good, just basic wrestling, guys with regular names. You know what I mean? Yeah,
No entrances, no music, It's really
no,
a
very
different
basic.
presentation.
Exactly. It's really cool. It's cool,
Yeah, I love it too. So we'll try to keep watching more NWA. We'll keep watching all the wrestling, and fans keep watching the wrestling with us. Enjoy the rest of these beautiful summer nights, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Pro Wrestling Tonight. Thanks for watching.